first topic of today is No Man's Sky and our thoughts. Now, Mark, you have not played No Man's Sky, is that right?
That is correct.
Cool. Now, you actually explained before we started recording. Go through the reason why you were initially interested, but then decided not to purchase it.
Yeah. Well, whenever it was like originally being teased and shown, and the original footage for the game, I was quite excited about it then, because it was on the big list of these year PS4 games you pretty much want to get in the next couple of years, like The Witness and No Man's Sky and things like kind of the indie side were being shown. And I'd looked into it and thought, yeah, this looks pretty decent. But after following the developer and their like kind of any tidbits we got from it for the next year or so, they kept pushing it back to work on it and do things like that. I slowly got less interested in the game because it's not like anything really the game's fault. It's more just my take on it that it looks like the kind of game where there's a lot to do in it, but it's that whole the way they've created the game using algorithms and things like that to actually generate worlds based on certain rules and things like that. They're all kind of limited on what is going to be different in the gameplay then, because nothing's been handcrafted in there. So I don't think there's many scripted events or things to do or anything like that. From the look of it originally, it sounded like here is all these millions of planets, you'll never get to really see all of them. You can go to as many as you want and do what you want. But for a sandbox game where the sandbox is, unlimited galaxies, it felt like you'd play it for a bit and be really interested and really like, wow, this is great, and look at that, I've never seen this combination. Then after a bit, you'll start noticing certain things that are all grounded in the same rules that are just being changed slightly. Mm-hmm. So, this planet 5 is not like Planet 1 apart from the sky is green and the ground is blue, and that elephant has wings, whereas on the other planet it had no legs, and it's just changing odd bits or whatever, and you go, I can get some more gear here and sell it, but I don't know why you'd want to get the stuff and sell it and go do more things. So
it's really funny what you've just said, because that pretty much sums it up.
Oh god!
Right on the spot. It is a very good game. I like to what they've achieved is something quite intriguing and it's unbelievable. Like they be able to create all this stuff.
It's not completely true. There are free paths you can go down.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't played enough of it yet.
Yeah, no, there's sort of free paths that lead you in different directions and do different things, and that's separate to go in.
Yeah, well, I found the multipass for the galaxy of different directions you can go if you wish to.
Yeah.
But when you were saying about like the idea of with the planets and stuff like that, and the idea of just collecting more resources, and it is extremely repetitive. Like it's like the planets look slightly different, but also quite similar. Unless you get to pretty much a water planet.
About 3 or 4 of the planets I've been to looked exactly the same. Apart from one of them was a giant dinosaur with a turkey head. It was kind of strange.
Like you say, it's literally, I found with the planets is they're very similar looking. The terrain probably a different colour. The sky's slightly different colour and the water's slightly different colour. The creatures are different, but they also look very similar as well as the previous planet. A lot of the plants that grow there are very similar as well. Some of them actually repeated. They look they're actually identical, but they class them as a different species. So when you find them, you sort of gather their information and then put them to your encyclopedia. It's like I got to admit, it sounds like I've been quite negative on it. I'm actually really enjoying it.
I was going to say, despite all that, it is quite good.
It gives that sort of element of just a bit longer. I just want to play it just a little bit longer, and it does give a lot of that. If you like exploring terrain, it adds a lot of that.
Roger, are you a hoarder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like last night I was playing it, and I had basically my starter ship. It was a bit naff. It wasn't very good. And you basically have 3 things to look after, and that's your suit that you're wearing, your ship, and basically your gun, which is called a multi-tool. It can be used lethal and for breaking down objects for minerals and elements. And they're the main 3 things that you're going to upgrade. So to upgrade your suit, you will need to find schematics, which you can craft, which will give certain elements to it. Like one of the first ones you find is like run faster. Like basically you can sprint for a little bit. Another one is you automatically get the jetpack. And the one I've just found is it gives me ability to actually breathe underwater for a lot longer. and also I think like extra health or something along those lines. I can't really remember. But what you can also then do to create more slots for your exosuit sort of thing, you can discover randomly generated areas where there'll be like a little building. You'll walk in and then you'll gain an extra slot, which you can carry more items or have an extra ability like crafted and put onto you. Then you get to your gun, which is very, very similar layout. It's just more slots. You're going to craft abilities to put into it, and it will make it more effective on mining or in combat. Suit, exactly the same. There's slots. If you then decide to get a better a better ship, you can either buy them off other NPCs or find crashed ones which are randomly dotted on the planet. And if it's looking better than yours, you can salvage it and basically re-put it back together and have a slightly better ship, which will again bring you more slots.
And then you'll lose all your upgrades and stuff on your current ship.
Yeah. So basically, you totally scrap your other ship. You don't gain anything from that. It's gone.
All your hyperdrive fuel, everything's gone, and that's a pain in the ass to find. Is hyperdrive fuel.
So basically, it's very wash, rinse, and repeat, and it's kind of like you're just constantly exploring, learning. The one aspect of it I do actually quite like is the actual alien language system, where you'd find little these cylinders, and they'll gain you access to one word, and it will translate an alien language word, and you would then discover more of these, or ruins, monoliths, and that will allow you to learn more and more of this language. So when you bump into an alien, he'll actually try and speak to you, and then you'll get a description of maybe what their body language is like, and then you can give a response, and if you give the correct response, you will gain something from them. And I like that. I do actually quite like that, because you kind of like, you're sort of half guessing and sort of then trying to solve what they're trying to say.
Lots of little puzzles and mathematical things and stuff like that.
To gain, like, say, more schematics and or locations of other things.
Or you'll find a distress signal that was long ago activated, and then you find a crash ship.
It's really good in that element of exploration, and it makes you constantly want to keep playing it because you want to keep learning more and you want to keep crafting more. The only problem is that's about it.
Yeah,
there isn't much more. Like the space combat, you occasionally, which is it's great when visually it is the most gorgeous thing ever. Like, you'll go into space, you'll see ships warp in, like massive freighters, and you're like, oh wow, that looks awesome. And they'll put out a distress beacon, and basically they're under attack by fighters. You can go fight the fighters and fend them off, and if you manage to kill them, I think you get a reward for it.
They are pretty hard though, aren't
they? Yeah, they're really, really hard, especially when I've only got like one gun and the rest of it I'm just full of carbon, just trying to fly around, hold the ship together. My ship's really shit. Basically, I found one which was my starter. I had my starter ship, and then it went onto a crashed ship, and basically the best way to describe it was a box with a cockpit on the front and a thruster on the back, and literally it was just like, and I'm going on, like, and it had one extra slot, and that's why I decided to go with it. But and I then got bombarded by 3 fighters, and I was just like trying to fly away as quickly as I could. So in aspects of that, it's gorgeous. It's really, really good. The space combat is fine. It's okay. Nothing spectacular, but it does the job. The sort of terrain of the planets is very samey, I think, from planet to planet, but you don't, again, it hasn't really bothered me overly much because it has felt different enough that it satisfies that it's a different planet. But it's good. I think this game is going to run out of its appeal very, very quickly once people realise that there's nothing else really to do. And I think, like I said, like a lot of people have said to me about like Minecraft. Why do I like Minecraft? And I said to them because it's very you can explore, be very creative, you can build different elements, and it's also quite social because you can join other people's servers, you can play it locally, and you can have good fun just generally with your friends. Now, this game of No Man's Sky does have exploration and everything like that, and collecting resources. But there is no creative element. There is no building. Not yet. No, really, not yet. Or at least something I haven't discovered yet. There's no building. There's no sort of interaction with other players presently. Apparently, like if you look up on the Facebook and Twitter of AlwayzGamezTV, Eurogamer did a post about how 2 people actually found each other on Twitch and they couldn't see each other. And now, it's weird how Hello Games haven't really said anything about it. They were just saying, oh, the servers were really busy, you know, and everything like that. You know, it's slightly lobby-based. And he actually turned around and said, oh, maybe some of you should just stop playing the game. It's like, yeah, you don't really say that to your consumers, really, to be absolutely honest. If you want people to play your game, not to not play your game. So that was a bit of a weird response. And I'm still, in all honesty, adamant that there is actually no multiplayer in this game. And until I'm literally going with the fact that there is no multiplayer until I'm proven otherwise. Yes, there is the essence of multiplayer that if you find a planet, you can name it or name the creatures or the items that you find, upload those, and yes, you'll see that person's name has named it. That's about it. I think that is all it is. And this sort of interaction from the developer saying, oh, well, there's a small percentage chance is great, but I know it sounds really horrible, I don't believe them. I don't think there is. I don't think at this present moment it hasn't been implemented, and they're just not willing to say it just yet. That's pretty much my wrap up on No Man's Sky. It sounds really negative. Like I say, I played it till 4 o'clock in the morning last night, and I just kept on playing it, and I kept on going because I was like, I found the ship, and I was like, right, I need to fix the warp drive. Fix the warp drive. Oh, all right, I need to fix the lasers. Fix that. Oh, ooh, I kind of need this sort of element. Right, I'm going to do this, and you kind of want to keep going to gain more and progress further.
I can only do so much, and then I get a bit bored.
I can understand that.
Whereas with that Rebel Galaxy, I don't. I get hooked on that because it's just, yeah.
I think that's the unfortunate thing is, as of yet, I haven't found any form of building, which I think this game sorely needs. It needs some form of customization, whether or not it's create your own base of operation, or maybe create a ship, or give even customization to your ship in some element.
Like Deep Space Nine. Then you could pretend to be a Klingon.
Yeah,
if you really wanted.
But it's trying to create that identity for yourself that you've created something, and then you could, like, that's one thing with Minecraft is that people create things on Minecraft, upload them to YouTube, people watch them on YouTube, and then there's that social element then that people are looking at this and going, oh, I want to have a go at that. Or just play with your friends locally or online, that you can interact with each other, have a laugh with each other, build something together, explore something together. This game has none of it.
Well, it's a weird one because that kind of is the reason why I didn't want to purchase the game until it was like potentially on sale or after I'd heard reviews about it, because from what they originally showed us, they marketed it a lot as explore all these places, and they never seemed to really actually tell you what else there was to do. And so I always kept wondering about why a lot of people were super excited about this game, because you know me, I'm not pessimistic, Rob. I love all the 10 out of 10 games. You know, I play Last of Us and all the other good ones whenever everyone does.
Beyond Two Souls. Yeah.
And what got me were the biggest comparison I could see with this game, because I've heard a few things recently, like the news, like gaming news, talking about like how it's not a Minecraft game and stuff like this. Like they're similar to what you're saying, Rog, how they compare it to a game where you explore and you craft and you make it your own, like a sandbox, you do what you want. But the biggest comparison I've seen game-wise that this makes me think of is it feels like Destiny without the shooting things. Because it just looks like, because I didn't play a lot of Destiny. I got to like the end of, I forget what the expansion was called, some king.
Whichever you say, yeah, I didn't get as far as that.
A friend basically helped me understand what I had to do just to do the bits. I'm like, yeah, let's do this then, and then I never played it again. But I enjoyed it a lot.
Someone said to me, I was like, Roger, what are you doing here? I went, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm shooting them people because they're about to come through that door. And they're like, why? I have no idea.
But that's the thing. But it looked great, and it had a nice hub, and you could keep leveling up and doing stuff. So they kind of kept the entertainment going with that. You kind of knew what you were getting into. It just didn't quite push the boundaries of, look at all these planets. Whereas this has gone, look at all these planets, but there's nothing to do there. And it felt like the hybrid of these would have been ideal, because Destiny got repetitive. That a lot of people do like dungeon runs and raid runs, very similar to like an MMO you would do to get better gear or do whatever. But that's a bit boring to me. I'd rather just be romping around doing whatever I want with a squad. Similar to like in The Division, you might do some stuff together there, explore for a bit, but it sounds like after a while that still seems like get together, grind for a bit, and once you've seen it all once, you will see it all again and again. Like Diablo, just different variations to get gear, and but people enjoy that. They like to get more powerful. But No Man's Sky seems like you keep exploring, but there's so many things. Even if you spend a second every hour or some shit. You'll see every planet. Never, because you'll be dead by then. Everyone in the world will be dead, or whatever they said.
Like billions, trillions and trillions and trillions of stars.
Oh, that's nothing, Mark. On the first day patch, they made the galaxies 10 times bigger. So
Made it even bigger.
everyone will be dead.
Dead. But it's just like I was thinking, of what is this game missing? It's missing a creative element. Because it's got everything else working great. Everything that it does do, like say exploration, surviving. There's an element of survival in it, which is quite interesting as well.
Can you take damage then?
Yeah, you can take damage. Yeah, you can get shot at. Your enemies can come after you. Creatures will come and attack you. If you're in water, you'll start to drown.
I've been shot down twice now,
Mm-hmm.
and I like playing this game called Asteroid. What's it called? Asteroid Chicken, where you boosters at full straight into an asteroid, and you have to shoot at the last minute and see if you can blow through it.
before it destroys you.
It normally works.
But yeah, so you've got fighters that will attack you. There's the environment on the planet, which could be hazardous as well. There's a lot of like suit upgrades that will help you fend against it, whether it's heat, cold, or radiation. There's multiple aspects of that. So there is a survival element to it as well. It's gonna get old very, very quickly. And like I was thinking the other day, what is this missing? It's missing the creative element. If for example, I could build a base. If I found a planet which was pretty cool, I was like, this is an awesome planet. I built like a hub base, and I was like, listen guys, you could all come here, and we could actually just like, I'll build a galactic trade computer, and if all you guys could warp to me, and you could literally use this as your standing base, and you could go off from there to other planets or other galaxies, that'd be awesome.
So I think building your own space station with modules, a bit like the Doom Snap map, but in space and 3D and all that, I think that'd be really cool.
It's missing that creative element.
Do you not feel that that's like a good element to add in, which they should have done by the sounds of it, to get something on there, but isn't that like just even the tip of the iceberg of things they should have added though? Because to me, like you're saying there, that it's quite short, you get bored after a while, because well, I know you're not bored, you have to keep playing it, but at some point you will probably stop.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
If you got everyone together to come to a planet and you built something like, oh cool, I'm going to go make something. If you all made something and they went, oh, do you want to come to my planet? Oh, come to my planet. But you can only build the same thing each. And then you go, but why are we still playing? Oh, because, good point. If you still just explore,
I think we're going to get that anyway. I think we're going to get that element of like, oh, why are we still playing? Like, because at some point, I think we're just going to get bored. And I'm wanting to get back on it though. Like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I want to do a bit more exploration, and I don't really know why. Like I seriously, I don't really. I want to say like, oh, it's because of this. I have no idea why I want to keep exploring this game, and it's very good. It's really, really good. I just don't know why I want to keep going back to play more of it, though.
I have this trouble with Rainbow Six Siege. Like, I've unlocked pretty much everything now, and I keep getting drawn back into it, and I have no idea why. All you do is shoot people.
But with that game, I find, like, especially with the terrorist hunt, and you're playing with your friends and stuff, stupid things happen because of your friends. Fun. Like, especially when you're playing with me, I just get things wrong. So it's kind of like I get blown through a window or something, and you just kind of like, that's Rod. But
I think because of destruction, you can go in at any way you want.
And again, you're creating your own fun. With this, though, because you're on your own, there's none of that interaction with other players. And I think that's sometimes some of the best fun you can have is when you're playing alongside someone and something stupid happens. And
go on, sorry.
No, that's basically what I think is one of the things also which is missing.
It feels like to me that you've hit the nail on the head that if you could create something and get your friends to come to your location, the next stage would have been, for definite, to really want to explore it, they needed to build in more procedurally generated content out of like maybe a set of, I don't know, 20 things that could or might happen or anything like that. But if you were with your friends in those scenarios, it could be enjoyable. Like you're almost kind of making your own kind of like Star Trek-esque crew. You're exploring locations together, but you go somewhere and I don't know, there's some weird virus things on the planet. If you got some special medicinal things from the planets, you could help the creatures there. Or if there's any sign of intelligence, because I've not heard of that in any of the planets, they're all just animals on the planets.
There is alien life. There is interaction with other species, which is I got to admit that I think that's probably the most fun of the game for me. Is discovering and trying to, because let's say they don't speak, you don't understand their language. So when they talk to you, you learn words. And then you can then sort of decipher, and the game will then change those words to be English. So then you could then sort of work out what they're trying to say to you, which I think that's quite cool.
Have you played the new Tomb Raider?
No.
Well, not the new one, not Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like
The
that
remake.
One or the old one. Tomb Raider.
Hmm.
No, briefly, very briefly.
Well, there's a system on that where you can find tombs, obviously, and they're like, you don't have to do them, they're like side bits, but you can go in and explore, and then you get to the end after just like solving certain puzzles and stuff, and then you get a reward. I think they should add stuff in like that.
You're almost like, you could say even on the planets, if there was a situation where you came across like a vault, like, no, not referencing Fallout at all, but I mean, like, you came across a vault, and there was like an alien, Borderlands, yeah.
That's Borderlands.
Yeah, good point. And you were able to, like you say, like, solve it and open it up and then explore it, and it would give you rewards for doing it. Even something as simple as that would be interesting.
Well, that's like Destiny. That was a lot of like the quests and missions on Destiny was go to this place down here, the prince sleeps or whatever, go to his chamber and sort that out and whatever.
I think that there shouldn't be quests that you're aware of. I think it should be something you can stumble upon and find, and then it's like a mystery, like a side bit that you don't have to do, but you can.
But admittedly, we're saying all this, and I feel like I'm really coming down on the game, and I'm really enjoying it. I really am, and I don't really understand why I am, but it is good fun, and it is good to explore. I just wish there was more. But this is, in theory, still the vanilla game. This is still the point where it's still version 1. There could be big updates coming, we just don't know.
So what do you think, if they do DLC, what do you think?
I have heard that they're doing some form of underwater exploration system. So basically you can go underwater and they're expanding that out. So when you go into the sea world, you can go into it more.
Maybe they're going to do one called, like, Dawn of the Reapers, and then Mass Effect will happen.
Just basically it's actually an introduction to the next Mass Effect game.
I think this would
That would be awesome.
Big twist.
But yeah, overall, Matt, I think, to be honest, you've actually done the best thing, is actually not get it at launch. It is a very good game. Visually, it's gorgeous. I think it's going to get old very, very quickly, but I'll be interested to see what updates are on the horizon, because they need to add something else to this game just to bulk it up a little bit. And they've got it's almost like they've got a really good canvas down now. The canvas is perfect. They just need to paint on it and add to it in that way.
How much does it cost, though, to buy?
It cost me 40 quid.
40?
Mm.
See, that's my worry. I know we're saying that you would, buying at launch and things like that and waiting, but if that is technically like the quote-unquote finished game, like it's out of beta, that is the game you buy for 40 quid, if they do a patch that adds a bit in, that'd be nice, but it'll probably be seen as like an additional thing, or like DLC, like you were saying, Tom, that would you pay like 15 quid to get more content on the game that...
I'm kind of hoping they're free.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, no, I got to admit, I think it's a lot of money for what you get. If I'd have paid, it's no knock for indie games, but the traditional indie game price, the most expensive one is about 25 quid, maybe 30 quid, something like that.
20, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, if I'd have paid that for it, I would be over the moon. I'd be like, this game is worth that price.
Yeah,
There's a lot there.
Right.
There's good fun, but I don't think it's worth 40, 45. No.
That's nice to hear.
If you pre-ordered it from Simply Games, that was about £39 something. But if you pre-ordered it anywhere else, it was £48. Like anywhere else.
Jeez.
It's expensive. It is quite expensive for what you get. But it's like, technologically, it's great. Like, the procedurally generated system is really good. It's like, I haven't really seen many flaws in it, in all honesty. But yeah, I think overall it is a good game. But if you are apprehensive by it, just hang off for the time being and wait to see what maybe the future holds with it. I'm expecting a big content drop, maybe the back end of this year or possibly the beginning of next year. I'm just waiting for something like that to come along. But let us know what you think in the comments below of No Man's Sky and whether or not you're enjoying it, whether or not you bought it or if you haven't, and why.